Hello and welcome everyone to LRC. We're here for round 5 at Watkins Glen. I'm joined by my co-commentator Toasty. How are you doing today, Toasty?
Doing good. Happy to be back at a more traditional track for the league. Um, Nürburgring Endurance was a bit different. We'll say that.
A bit different. Let's just keep it at a bit different. That's like a pretty good way to put it. Um, yeah, and are you going to be racing today in Division 1 or are you going to have the week off?
uh, no, not unless I get a last minute call, but
Nice. So
pretty
you'll
sure we'll be
be
co-commentating for the first time D1, so that'll be nice.
nice. That's great. Um, yeah, I think the last time we commentated together for D1 was I think round 2 or something. I don't know. I don't remember. It was, or no, did we? No, it was the preseason race, right?
E
Something
Maybe.
like that. I don't even remember. It's been a while though. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today the round is at Watkins Glen, and thankfully the track is a little bit wider than the Nürburgring, so we'll hopefully see some really good on-track racing. And we're going to get started with qualifying in just a few seconds here. So we'll jump onto the track and join our drivers.
It looks like little Jacob is leading the field here on the outlap in the team.com Ford. Had a lot of pace last week at the Nürburgring, especially around the Nordschleife section. Ended up on a different strategy than everyone else. Didn't end up working out for him. But the mid-engine cars should do pretty well here, provided the drivers have set the cars up for the bus stop, be stable through there, and this will be a track much like round 2, I think it was, or maybe it was Suzuka where we saw that big difference in tire wear. Dinosaur also in that the mid-engine or mid-engine Porsche.
That's right. I remember we were talking about on Suzuka how the mid-engine format was potentially going to make the difference in the race in terms of tire wear, and it did. The last laps of the race, I can't remember who was leading, but they had lost tire wear just enough so that they wouldn't be able to win the race. I had to pull up the race results again. I forget who won that race.
I'm pretty sure Dinosaur won it, and DS Love was chasing him down, but
That's
then
right.
ran out of tires.
That's right. All right, so we're on board with Dinosaur here, getting caught up with little Jacob down the back straight for their first qualifying hot lap. We'll see if Dinosaur and Jacob work together to get a good lap time.
Dinosaur pushing him through the S's there. And those he shouldn't get alongside because they're both on hot laps. Dinosaur there just being patient, making sure he doesn't mess up another driver's hot lap.
It's funny, I'm looking up the track names or the track map for Watkins Glen, and I'm looking at the names of the corners, and they're so broadly named, and they don't even have names for the last 3 corners of the track.
Yeah, it's just 9, 10, and 11.
Yeah.
There's 9, 10, and 11.
They
and everything else has a name.
Yeah, it's like they got lazy. They just stopped naming the turns. They're like, all right, we don't have enough stuff to name this after.
Yeah. I do like the boot though.
That's a good one.
The toe and the heel is pretty funny.
It's kind of like how we were calling the one section on road Atlanta the Panhandle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good name. All right, so Dinosaur sets provisional pole position at 148.25. Dinosaur has been looking strong all season long.
Little Jacob picking up a penalty through turn 1, probably there. And the car got sideways on him going through the toe of the boot, which allowed Dinosaur to get past him there, so hopefully get a good lap in. Grizzle jumping out of the way there, letting Lamb King through before the bus stop. That will definitely be a place to watch out for in the race. As an overtaking point, the bus stop, the rate before it very long. You're flat out through the S's after turn 1 all the way up to the bus stop, so it's a long time on throttle, and you get a very nice slipstream behind 1 or 2 cars. Very difficult to go side by side through the bus stop, though.
Yeah, most definitely. If you find yourself side by side, and sometimes it can be just more beneficial to just concede the position even before you get there to avoid, both slowing down during the bus stop, because going through there side by side just is significantly slower than just sliding behind the person who's next to you and then going through in a line.
Yep. Yeah, even if you get through there cleanly, you're losing so much time to cars behind.
I'd say the other position or place on track that I tend to like as an overtaking spot is the toe, actually. The way the toe is like cambered, it gives you a little bit more braking power going into that turn. So if you find yourself on the inside, you can brake like quite a bit hard going into the toe, and it kind of gives you like that extra grip on the inside. The only problem with that is it's just hard to set up a pass there if you're not able to like stay closely behind someone through, I think it's turn 6, which is the that pretty difficult downhill left-hander going into the toe.
Oh, the chute.
Yeah, the chute. Yeah, this one right here, this turn.
Yeah, I actually like to set up a pass for the heel. So make sure I get a good line through here, through the toe, and get a good launch out of that corner, and then make a move into the chute. It's not a not the chute, the heel rather.
The heel, yeah.
It's not a corner that most people would expect someone to make a move, so you can catch some people off guard doing that.
Yeah, I say overall, just I love Watkins Glen. It's such a great track, a great place for racing, just good racing in general. Like, there's a lot of good positions where, like, if you do go and start battling someone, you just lose an insane amount of time, and that allows other people to jump into the battle as well. Like, the first turn, like the 90, is like a perfect example of this, where if you're going into the 90 side by side with someone, you lose so much exit speed all the way down turn 2, the S's, the back straight, that it just allows anyone behind you to just catch up right away. And so the effect that the 90 has on just like the racing field is great. It like packs everyone up pretty well, pretty nicely.
So it looks like DS Love currently in first place for qualifying, 147.2. And then Will Grizzle just over a tenth behind in second place. In the what do they call it again? Toyota Hida. I'm forgetting the team name for Toyota.
Full Throttle Fajitas.
Yes,
That's right.
I got some of it.
Yeah, that's close enough. D-Slove catching up to a little bit of traffic.
Dinosaur jumping up to third place there. Wow. Yes, they'll be improving quite a bit there. So now in 8.5 tenth, more than that to Will Grizzle. See if anyone else improves. Like they're on their last lap now. I don't think B Rhymes is going to improve with those tires, but
Yeah.
doing well so far to qualify in seventh. Stepping in from the Academy League to race this as well. So we had a great great drive from Backmarker Racing last week. An Academy driver stepping up to D2. So.
Yeah. The format that we did this season with the Academy League, I think, was a really good idea. I think one of the things that's been a weak point for LRC in general has been taking very beginner drivers and making them league ready. And I think the Academy League was the perfect, what's the word? The perfect stepping stone for that. So props to Dinosaur on setting up that way this season.
Yeah. I do agree that their Academy League has to be on a different day though, because if it runs a little late, then it runs D2 and D1 late as well. But then also, if an Academy driver does want to try a D2 race, for example, it's not back to back, which can be difficult on the
That can
driver's
be
end as
extremely
well.
difficult. Yep. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so let's see here. I think there are maybe one or two drivers left. B Rhymes crosses the start finish line. I think Show Me it might be the last person, but realistically, I don't think Show Me is going to improve on his time, considering the the damage on the front two tires. There we go.
Yeah.
So let's take a quick look at the qualifying results. So we got D-Slav taking pole position with a 146.5, a considerable amount ahead of his teammate Luke Fubar, about half a second, just over half a second. So it's a 1-2 start for Hoonigan Honeys Racing BMW. War Grizzle starts in third alongside Dinosaur. You got Cecil Turtle and B Ship in the third row, B Rhymes and Show Me in the fourth row. Little Jacob starting ninth, Soul Shock VR starting in 10th. Then we got Lou and Kip Dunkel. And then finally Lamb King at the back of the grid. I think we're missing the other.
Is it Matsuki in the Porsche? I think I
Yes,
did see a
yeah.
message saying he wouldn't be able to make qualifying, so
Yep.
Should make it for the race.
And so hopefully, yeah, he does join for the race. Obviously, he'll have to start at the back of the grid, but I think that won't be. That's better than not starting at all.
Yeah.
Let's talk about strategy. What can we expect for strategy for this race? Do you have any idea?
I'm not sure on number of stops, but I know that in the front engine cars, especially the front left tire is going to uh it's going to fall away quite quickly in
Yep,
comparison to others. So they might be kind of pressured into another pit stop. Um, yeah, the goal is always to make the fewest as possible. So we'll see. We'll see if drivers will be able to conserve the tire, um, really taking it easy through the carousel especially, and get a few more laps out of the softs and the mediums they're both required in D2, right? Softs and medium tire.
that's correct. Yeah, I think they have to run at least. Um, technically, I think it's at least one lap, right,
One,
with with
yeah,
each compound.
one full green flag lap.
Yeah, I can't
Non
imagine
VSC.
I can't imagine the softs lasting too long. It's probably gonna last maybe like what, 2 or 3 laps at most, judging based off what we
Uh,
saw in qualifying. I
depends.
think.
Yeah.
Yes. So
So
the
based on
challenge
that, I
here.
would think. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say the challenge here is simply to kind of neutralize the tire wear evenly across the tires on your car, and so there are many ways to do that as a driver, like Toasty was mentioning earlier, taking it easy through the carousel and making sure you don't burn up that tire too quickly. But in general, I think in this particular situation, it's something as easy as just like taking it easy on the right handers and just going aggressive on the left handers. I mean, that's always been the sort of strategy, or tire management strategy I've always used for Watkins Glen. It seems to work out pretty nicely regardless of the cars that I use.
Right. Yeah, and there's a couple other things you can do, like you can set up the car for the race to be somewhat oversteery at the beginning of the stint, and then it will even out as you go. If you know you're going to have more tire wear at the front,
Mm.
um, and then you just be easy on the car as you start, and then the car will kind of come to you as you go, and you won't lose as much time as the stint goes on.
Yeah, and these are all things that it's really funny. I feel like a lot of GT players, when they play GT7 and they do daily races and whatnot, this is the kind of stuff that you don't really get to learn unless if you're running in a league like ours. And it's just an aspect to racing and GT7 in general that is so, I feel like there's so much depth to it, and I feel like most people don't begin to scratch the surface, you know? It's such a it's such a
Yeah.
great game and great, dare I say, simulator that like it's yeah, it's just great to see this kinds of stuff in the game. Like it's so well done.
I think the biggest step they could make right now, if they were to make any other big physics changes, I wouldn't put it past them, I guess, at this point. But to make it a step towards sim is to simulate the floors of the cars. You have so many cars in the game where they're very low to the ground. Kind of the default in tuning is to just slam the car to the ground
Oh yes.
and stiffen the suspension a bunch. And one thing about the curbs in this game, you can attack the curbs the way you can because the floor isn't simulated. But
Yep.
once the floor would be simulated, then you would find that you can't go over those curbs. quite as well, nearly as well. So I
The one
think
I think about, sorry, the one
that's one
thing
of the things. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, the one before you go on, the one thing that reminds me of that is the the sausage curb in the Red Bull Ring on turn one. Like
Oh yeah.
people fly over that thing, and it's like if you do that in real life, your car is gonna get destroyed. Like,
Yep. After it lands.
yeah, yeah.
um. Yeah, you'd be airborne for quite some time.
There's also
Uh,
a sausage curb. Uh, I think it's Dragon
the second.
Trail Gardens. I think that one, like, it's an enormous sausage curb, and like you can just fly right over it, and you basically cut
Oh,
the
I know the
entire
one you're
corner.
talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then there's the second chicane at Monza,
yep, that one
where
too.
you can
Yeah,
just cut over both of those. I think the something else that would be solved here, if that were a thing, simulating floors of cars, it would fix the track limit issue in a way.
yeah, it definitely would.
Because you wouldn't get a track limit penalty, but you would be flying into the air, so it would be its own I don't know what the word would be.
Gives its own
Deterrent.
time penalty, own
Yeah.
consequence. I think that's what games like ACC does really well, and iRacing. They simulate like the weight of the car being affected by those things a lot more. And then I would say the other physics related thing I think GT7 could improve upon would be like the braking. I think like in GT7 it seems like when you trigger ABS when you're turning, it doesn't really seem to have much of an effect with ABS weak or even on default. But
Mm,
as if you've ever played ACC or iRacing, you'll find that if you're triggering the ABS while you're turning, it just drastically reduces your ability to turn. And it's just something that in GT7 never felt quite right with ABS in general.
yeah. And these things would make it so that the lap times of tracks and cars would be much more representative to real life, but instead they're kind of fixing it by making the cars slower,
Slower, yeah.
which have the same overall effect, but the way to get there is a bit different.
Yeah, it's having the correct math problem solved, but not not the right way to get there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the show your work, and the math teacher goes, "Huh?"
yeah.
It looks like Motsky got here, so the pink Porsche is back. The first game that I played where it was noticeable that all of the car was simulated, including the floor, was the more recent F1 games, actually,
Really?
because those cars are so low and so stiff in the current generation that if you go wide and go over a curb, you're just going straight. There's no steering.
Oh wow.
So it was quite a shock, and then I realized, oh, that's what would actually happen. That's the front tires not being in contact with the curb because you're effectively beaching the car at 150 miles an hour, it's just
Yeah.
sliding along.
Yeah, I would say despite all the gripes we have with the game, it's I think it's still a pretty fabulous game. Like
Oh yeah.
the if you ever have the chance to play GT7 with VR and a steering wheel, it's like it's like a completely different gaming experience. it's like what you fantasize as like a kid about like having like being in an actual having like a full like cockpit, you know, like the whole
Yep.
experience. And the attention to detail that they put into the game for all the cars cockpits and stuff and how accurate they are and how like detailed the materials look, you know, and the textures, it's actually kind of insane. And I
Yeah.
remember reading somewhere that the cars take somewhere between like 9 to 10 months to scan and put into the game. And I believe it. Like, I'm sure it takes a crazy amount of work to scan like every little detail of the game or the detail of the car and put it in the
Right.
game so that when you're jumping into VR, you can like you can see it really closely. It's really really crazy.
Exactly.
And I tell people like you can sit in the cockpit of like some of the most historic cars in the world that you'd never even have a chance to see in person. Like
Yeah.
being able to
And
sit in,
everything is in the exact spot that it would be, and
yeah, it's
crazy.
absolutely insane. Like sitting in a Honda like the RA727, right? It's just like an iconic car and like seeing like the dials rotated because that's how it was in real life. It's just it's so cool like those tiny details.
Yeah. And people joke about that's what they mean about the real driving simulator, but it's kind of true.
Yeah.
Um, but all these things that we could talk about that have to do with improving the physics simulation of the game, that also makes it much less accessible for people just jumping on and experiencing it for the first time. It's like it for it to be a sim is to make it exclusive basically to a certain audience.
Yeah, exactly. I think if they were to make it more of a sim, it would just lose its appeal to being that sort of entry to a lot of people's like gaming experience around sim racing.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people who, in general, get into sim racing because of GT7, and or like you know get into more serious sims because of GT7,
right.
and like
Yeah, if they want
it's
something more realistic or accurate, it's its own stepping stone to that
yep,
almost.
yep, agreed. Okay, so we got our track start here. We're green, and the action starts now. So D Slove leads our pack, and Luke Fubar's teammate just behind. We got a pretty spread out field here. Start the rolling start for Watkins Glen is a little bit more separated than normal, I think. So it looks like all the cars are going through pretty cleanly through turns 1 and 2.
Awesome. Turtle just lifting there, giving some space to the four cars ahead. A smart move there, just being patient at the start. Didn't want to throw it down the inside and cause a mess there at the bus stop, so ends up driving from him.
Oh, and Luke Fubar goes a little deep through the chutes, but is able to maintain the position. Oh my goodness, the track seems like a little slippery or something.
Oh yeah, I mean there is quite a bit more cloud cover, so it could be that. Dinosaur sneaking up the inside, getting a better line and exit through the toe and making a move in the heel like we were talking about before.
I think Grizzle still
Side
has
by
a little bit
side
of
though.
overlap and decides
Yep.
to try to stick it through turns, I think, 9.
Through turn 10, still a little bit defensive there towards the middle. Going a bit wide on the exit though. Dinosaur can get a better line through here. Now has the slipstream from the Supra, so gonna cruise on the inside line, yes. Braking a bit later there. Taking a lot of the inside curves. Cecil's now joining the party. I think the Mercedes gave Dinosaur bit of a bump there through the
This is
exit of turn 1, helped him
this
through.
is yeah, and this is absolutely great for the HHR team. They're just running away with it while Dinosaur or Grizzle, Cecil, and all just battle for position behind them.
Yeah. Bishop there, not expecting the cars ahead to be as slow as they were through the bus stop as they're all battling for position. B-Rhymes, meanwhile, didn't have to deal with that and just flew right through. Alongside Bishop momentarily though, because he's through. And the second team.com forward. Little Jacob also alongside, so making their way through as well. A little bit of contact there on the right rear corner of Little Jacob's Ford GT.
And Bishop there losing out on a couple positions through the second lap. He had a huge liftoff through the carousel, so I think Bishop is going to do a pretty intense tire management strategy. That's what it looks like initially. I think most of the time I see Bishop race, he tends to go for like the most conservative tire strategy available, so we'll see how long he makes the stint last.
Yeah, I think we've seen that from him since was it season 1, I think, when he was in the Group 4 GT86. I remember it being red, and he was doing some interesting strategies there in that car. Cecil there looked like there might have been contact though, but it was difficult to tell into the back of Grizzle's car into the bus stop.
We got teammates B-Rhymes and Little Jacob going side by side through the chute, battling for 5th position. There are no team orders here. They're just going at it right now.
Yeah, B-Rhymes taking the very difficult outside line through the toe. The inside line just gives you so much more grip, and of course it's a shorter way through, so the outside line rarely works there. He's just giving Little Jacob a little bit of space. Yeah, I saw him lift off there a little bit.
So I think D-Slov must have gone off somewhere, because D-Slov has now fallen back into 2nd place and only about 7/10 of a second in front of Dinosaur. So Luke Fubar has taken the lead of the race. Let's take a look at tires. So Luke Fubar right now on softs, about halfway done with them. We got D-Slov on mediums. Maybe they switched positions. Maybe Luke Fubar was a little bit quicker. Maybe that was like a team orders kind of thing. But Dinosaur on racing softs and doing a really good job of managing those tires. His wear is significantly less than Luke Fubar, so he might be able to go an additional lap in the first stint. And similar with Cecil Turtle, we're seeing that front left be a little bit more worn out compared to Dinosaur's car. Again, as we mentioned before and earlier in the stream about Suzuka, the MR cars are going to be a little bit better with their tire wear evenly.
Dinosaur known for being easy on the tires, and he's in a car that helps him push that advantage even further, really. So a good car choice there for him. Little Jacob is closing in to the benefactor AMG.
So it looks like overall, so far so good. Opening laps of this race have been very clean. Watkins Glen being significantly, I guess, easier to race and pass on than the Nürburgring.
Yeah, I was kind of jealous of the Academy guys. They were able to race on the GP track. Oh, V Rhymes going a bit deep into the bus stop, picking up a 1 second penalty for hopping over too much of the curb on the exit there. I believe that will make him curb the penalty pretty much right now after this corner. Yep.
Grizzle will get a chance to overtake B Rhymes after B Rhymes had to serve that penalty. And Soul Shock VR now looking to take that position away from B Rhymes as well. Soul Shock VR in the inside.
Quite a costly penalty. Lost 2 positions there.
And look at that. Soul Shock almost made an overtake on Grizzle at turn 9. Grizzle going a little wide in the entry of turn 9. And Grizzle looks like he's going to jump into the pits.
Oh yeah, the front left is gone.
All right, so Luke Fubar. Oh, it looks like Luke Fubar made a mistake too. So maybe not even a mistake. It looks like that front left had started wearing away quite significantly and allowed Dinosaur to make a pass, take second place, but Luke Fubar was leading the race and fell back to third place. So that tire wear definitely causing issues for Luke right now.
Yeah, could have been a case of just understeering off of the corner. When the tire's that bad, it's be difficult to even keep it on the track. As he's experiencing right now, going very wide through the chute there. Yeah, gonna have to be even more careful through the toe, although the amber will help a little bit. Jacob continuing to put on some pressure to Cecil Turtle. The difference in I was gonna say the difference in level of grip, but it doesn't look like Jacob's experiencing much of that either. Going for another lap though, looks like it. So on to lap 7 with the soft tire.
Yeah, so B Rhymes is jumping into the pits. Kip Dunkel is slapped with a 1.5 second penalty. Likely on the exit of turn 10. If you go too wide at turn 10, it's easy to pick up a penalty there.
Yeah.
So Dinosaur is starting to lose ground now to D-Slove. Those racing softs finally starting to counteract the advantage that he had initially.
Yeah, we'll see if Dinosaur and Jacob's decision on strategy there to take the softs an extra lap onto lap 7 will help or hurt their overall strategy.
Yeah, if they're going for a one-stopper, which I highly doubt they'd be able to do. Yeah, I don't really know. Like if that one extra lap helps them save a pit stop, I'd say it'd be worth it. But from what it looks like, it won't. But I don't really
Yeah.
see how the rest of the strategy might play out. Like maybe he's gonna do like 2 stints on the softs, and then 7 laps of each, and then 1 stint on the medium, and maybe that's gonna be overall better than soft, medium, medium. But it requires 2 laps where like the tires are gonna be absolutely destroyed.
Right.
The funny thing I've kind of noticed, just in general, is that the early LRC guys, the guys who joined LRC, not like basically like towards the beginning, like the first couple of months, I noticed that those drivers tend to favor tire conservation strategies, which is really interesting. And like the newer guys at LRC tend to, be more rough on the tires and and go a little bit faster and then take an extra pit stop if necessary. A pretty interesting observation I've had for the past like couple of races.
Yeah, that's true. And same thing with fuel. If it's a more fuel limited race or lobby setting, you'll see the same kind of thing, but with fuel saving instead. Russell and Grizzle both exiting pits maybe 2 laps ago on the medium tires.
So Motsky's picked up a little bit of damage on the front bumper. Not sure where that came from. B Rhymes nor Little Jacob have damage, so
Yeah, I'd say based on the tire wear there, it looks like this is their first stint, so they've had these medium tires from the start. And just assuming based off of the timing on the right, maybe something happened in lap 3. Looks like a 2-minute, 3-second lap, so I would guess that's where that happened.
oh yeah, that's a good observation. But since then, it looks like Motsky's time has been very consistent. So maybe the front wing or whatever is damaged has made it a little bit easier to control or something. I don't know. Look at it. It's like a 151, like 0.8, 0.7, 0.4, 0.6, or 0.7. It's really funny.
Right. At the same time, though, that's 2.5, 3 seconds off what probably could be doing.
That's true.
Compared to other times out there. Little Jacob and B Rhymes, same strategy by the looks of it. They're just running together there.
Yeah, they're offset, I think, by 1 lap. Little Jacob decided to stay out that 1 extra lap than B Rhymes, and it looked like it worked out for him because I can't remember if B Rhymes was ahead or not. I think they were still in the same position, so they came out kind of net zero. Little Jacob still came out in front, and B Rhymes just behind, so it doesn't seem like it had much of an impact.
Yeah, I mean, the only difference there is that Little Jacob now has 1 lap newer mediums. Whether that will make a difference towards the end of the stint, we'll see. But ES Love at the front on those medium tires for drivers who are able to multitask and just kind of put their driving in autopilot and think about other people's strategies. That might be giving them some data, we'll say, on how the mediums perform, how long those can go, and kind of factor that into what they might do, what kind of changes they might make. Blue was just moving over there, trying to break the toe. Looks like it put him out of rhythm though, because he didn't take the bus stop optimally, we'll say. He picked up a penalty for it as well, so. Go to the inside through the heel and make a move there.
Yeah, very nice pass by Kip Dunkel there on the inside of the heel.
Yeah, going wide there again. Does not look like the Toyota Supras are very good on their front tires here. Bishop looks like he's having a similar problem in that Viper. Even on the medium tires, after 10 laps, they're just pretty much gone at the front. Here comes Dinosaur. That's the difference in grip level at the front. Bishop having to lift to get through the S's safely.
Oh, and Bishop understeers quite a lot on the exit of the bus stop. Has to cut across the grass there and picks up a half a second penalty. And Dinosaur's already caught up to Kip, so Dinosaur's making some really good ground on this new set of medium tires. He's already only 28 seconds behind D-Slub, and I think that's probably enough to pass D-Slub once D-Slub pits, depending on how much fuel he takes. Dinosaur looking hungry here, looking for an overtake. Going down to the heel, does he outbrake Kip Dunkel? Kip Dunkel goes a little deep and leaves the door open for Dinosaur. So maybe Kip's tires, yeah, Kip's tires are very worn out. Is struggling quite a bit to keep the car on track around the heel in turns 9, 10, and 11. I think he'll peel off to the pit stop after this.
One thing most drivers don't think about when battling is the tire life you have will help you just as much under braking as it will in corners. And that was a great example of it right there.
Oh my God, Kip Dunkel is just struggling so hard on those tires. It's tough to watch.
He's trying to go maybe 2 stints on the medium, 12 laps and 12 laps. That'll have 8 laps left on the softs, but that is 8 laps on the softs is still really stretching it though. If that's his plan, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll find out. I know sometimes this can happen to a lot of drivers where they'll test their setups in like a custom race or lobby and not take into account the weather, which can have a pretty big effect on the tire wear. And when they hop into the race ready to go, it's all of a sudden their tire wear is worse than they expected, and that can kind of throw off an entire strategy just in the moment. And one of the reactions to that is to simply just go a longer stint if you can. You end up in a situation like this where you're just trying to survive out there one more lap on the incredibly dead tires.
Yep. And Bishop, who's had the same problem, though less so, I guess, has caught Kip by, I think it was 1.5 seconds that lap. So yeah,
And they both decided to pit this lap, so Bishop gained a considerable amount of time just from that last lap. So let's take a look at D-Slub then. So D-Slub must be, yeah, D-Slub is struggling now. And this will hurt his lead quite a bit since he picked up a penalty as well. That's like another couple seconds of time loss. So the penalties in GT7 will, even though it's a second of a time penalty, the actual effect of the penalty is several seconds because it slows you down in the middle of a straight. So, and you can see the lead delta drop by several seconds there between him and Dinosaur. So it's now down to 23 seconds already.
Yeah, and I think it'll drop more when Dinosaur reaches that point. I think that's when it kind of catches up.
Oh yeah, you can see it tumble down to
Time
21
drop away
already.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so really that was a 2-second penalty at least.
Yeah.
Slow doing his best to keep the car within the yellow lines there on the pit entry, doing a nice job to manage the understeer there. Very difficult pit entry in terms of penalty.
Yeah, I think it's particularly challenging because it's on the inside of turn 11. It's a right-hander as well, so when you go to pit, you're usually like your tires are dead, so that front left is not going to help you to turn. So you have to basically stick it to the inside of the corner and slow down like 4 times as much as you think you do. And the minute, the millimeter you go over the line, you get slapped with a 3-second penalty, and it's just it's a really, really tough penalty to grab.
Yeah. And you don't want to be on that apex any longer than you have to, especially when there's cars not coming into the pits behind you. Kind of nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Road Atlanta with the pit being on the right after the overcrest.
Oh, yep.
It's a very similar setup. But so far, everyone's been doing a really good job of being aware of when people are going to jump into the pits. Like, I think we saw Jacob earlier. I can't remember who was on the inside, but they saw them slow down and just went around them, like, towards the middle of the corner and didn't have any issues.
Understeering there. Still getting alongside and past. It's one of those, it's a very difficult braking zone, this chute, because it's downhill, a little bit off camber. You know that you have to take the apex a little late to get through there the fastest way. So you're kind of towards the outside longer than you would be if the corner was flat.
Yeah.
And the marbles form out there too, so it's pretty tricky. It's deceptive.
It's kind of like one of those knife edge corners where you have to take that late apex, but then like if you start the entry wide, you're like, it's really easy for you to just go too wide into the marbles, and then you're basically gonna crash into the wall that's at the end of the exit. So it's one of those high risk, high reward corners. So Killpros was asking why is ACC hard to start? I think
Hard to start as a driver, or
yeah, I would imagine that it's hard to start as a driver. I think that's what he's asking.
Yeah, it is a steep learning curve for sure, and that kind of goes back to what we were talking about before, like how GT7 is such an accessible game, meaning that you can just start up the game with a controller or wheel, just pick it up and start playing it, and without knowing much about motorsports even, just kind of get relatively up to speed with a bit of practice. But with ACC, yeah, tire pressure to worry about. There's your tire is divided into thirds that they wear at different rates and generate heat at different rates, and
You can flat
it's
spot
just
your tires.
yeah,
Like,
you can grain the tires. And that's just the tires we're talking about. And there's just so much detail in that game.
yeah. And I do
So
find that the controls for GT7 tend to be a bit more forgiving when it comes to controlling the car. It's
yeah,
like I don't know if maybe it's a combination between the physics and the way the controller is like hooked up to the inputs and how they interpret them. But it tends to be easier for you to keep the car on track and control the car on track in GT7.
yeah,
Whereas like ACC, if you have cold tires, like you're basically just like you're not going to be able to do anything, and it's a fairly accurate representation of what it's like to be on cold tires. So D-Slav right there gets on the inside of Low Jacob at the 90, and they go side by side through the back straight. D-Slav there making an overtake on Jacob there. The pretty tight battle they had going through there.
yeah. So DS Love wasn't even going for a move on the inside of turn one, but just filling the mirrors of Jacob of that Ford, and Jacob ended up going wide just in case DS Love did go through, but that put him offline, so DS Love had a better run.
Yeah, and Luke Fubar made a tiny mistake there on the carousel and allowed D-Slav to slide through. I don't know if that was like a team orders thing, but it almost allowed little Jacob to potentially overtake Luke Fubar through the following sections through the chute. So, oh no, Luke Fubar loses control and he runs into the wall, picks up damage on that front left. Oh my gosh.
It's the same corner, same spot that we saw him struggling with early on in the first few laps.
That's
So
right.
Trying to push hard, keep Jacob behind on very worn tires, and again right here.
Yeah, there you go. There it is. Yeah, that's
Really
an
aggressive
easy.
throttle.
That's an easy exit to lose traction on, because when you're in the chute, like in the middle of the corner, you have all this extra grip due to the mechanical, like you have all this extra mechanical grip, sorry, due to the compression. And then
Yep.
as soon as you start exiting the compression on the exit of the corner, like you lose all of that extra mechanical grip, and you can kind of get a false sense of security that your car is going to remain stuck on track. And yeah, as soon as you hit the gas on the exit of the chute, it can just go right underneath from you.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if this is simulated in GT7. I know it is in ACC to tie that in, but a tire will have a maximum amount of grip that it can produce basically under load. Like it has a max load basically, and if you can exceed that easily by doing something like going uphill in a right-hander. The rear left, for example, will become overloaded. Like you can, it helps to go uphill and have more weight on the back tires, but too much will exceed that load limit, if that makes sense. It's a bit technical. But I guess going back to ACC for a bit, that question, there's stuff like brake pads. You have to know what brake pad to use. Your brake pads will wear along with the discs themselves. And if you want new brake pads for a race, you have to go into the pits and ask the mechanics to change them. And there's a lot to learn about the game that the game does not tell you. Cecil going off the track wide in turn 1, picking up a 1-second penalty there, and Jacob passed him up into 3rd place.
Yeah, to comment on the ACC thing, they kind of just throw you into the game and don't explain anything, just kind of
Yeah.
let you struggle on your own.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you almost have to be a fan of and an avid watcher of the GT3 Endurance Series. Whoa!
Oh no, Lou loses control. Oh my god, and Motsky narrowly misses him through the exit of
Yeah.
turn 11. Oh my goodness.
So it looked like Lou got sideways on the entry of 11. Very interesting. I wonder if he got onto the far inside curve or the grass on the outside entry, maybe the exit of 10. Maybe he swept over to the left too quickly and ended up dipping the outside tire into the grass. It's easy to do if you're focusing on the apex of the next corner. You can easily kind of drift wide over the line onto the grass.
Motor swap in chat said left rear touched grass.
There we
Sounds
go.
about right.
No damage on the car. No one else collected him there. So continuing to push on there.
So Dinosaur has the race lead right now. That front left looking pretty grim, and D-Slove there not looking much better. So Dinosaur has been in a good position to be potential race winner today. I would suspect that they're gonna pit either this lap or the next, both of them. Be interesting to see how D-Slove's strategy kind of changes. Oh, so D-Slove's on softs right now. Okay, that's why D-Slove's tires have gone down so quickly. Okay, so that's interesting. So D-Slove took the medium stint tire early. Dinosaur took the softs early, and then they swapped basically in the second stint. And now they're going to be equal going, I think, through this last one. But Dinosaur has a 17-second advantage over D-Slove at basically equal right now. So
Yeah.
there's no advantage that's been gained from D-Slove's strategy. This is straight up like the net lead right here between Dinosaur and D-Slove. The Dinosaur in a pretty dominant position so far.
Yeah, something that I noticed early on is Love started on those mediums, and he was just kind of driving away in clear air, which Dinosaur he pitted earlier, and then had to deal with some traffic, going under blue flags, of course, racing for position, so he lost time doing that. But then Love hit and dealt with the same thing, so there wasn't really any advantage there. Also though, Love has quite a bit of fuel in the car right now, and usually what I would do at least is I mean that might explain some of the time difference, but what I would do at least in this kind of strategy is fuel the car light for a soft tire stint, because you know that you're not going to be able to do as many laps, but also it keeps the tires alive longer because you don't have as much weight in the car. You're able to push the tires harder if you want or need to, and take full advantage of the softs. But we're gonna see the time difference here.
Yeah, so D-Slove has about a third of a tank, which is a significant amount, and that's where the difference in time is. So apologies for the inaccuracies early. So there is a strategic advantage that Dieslov has right now of filling the car, but he's still behind in terms of filling. Like Dinosaur right now is currently at 66 already, and Dieslov has just started to fill the car. So Dinosaur's still going to be a couple seconds behind, but not nearly as much as we initially thought he would. So we'll see if he fills up around to the same amount as Dinosaur does. Now he goes 80% there, 80 liters. Let's see, Dinosaur just leaving the pits right now, and then Dieslov about to leave the pits in a couple seconds. So it looks like maybe I don't know, looks like yeah, 10-second difference. I thought it was going to be a much bigger difference between the two. I thought Dieslov was going to come out much closer to Dinosaur than I thought he did, to be honest. But it was only really 4 seconds of a difference.
If it's 3 liters per second, a third of a tank is 10, 11 seconds, right? So it was a big chunk of time, but not 18, 19 seconds worth, I guess.
Yeah, so he was like 16 seconds behind when Dinosaur pit, but I also noticed that at the end of Dieslov's lap in Sector 3, that front left tire was completely depleted. And I think he lost maybe 5 or 6 seconds just in the last sector alone.
Oh, yeah. Dinosaur also took 2 seconds less of fuel.
Yeah, so that'll account for the difference for sure.
Yeah, several factors there. But, yeah, Dinosaur staying 12 and a half, a bit more seconds ahead. Soulshock currently in first place, leading the race. I'd imagine we'll have to pit soon based on strategy, but currently in first. Oh no, looks like
no, I think we lost.
We disconnected.
Yeah. Though he'll still get points, I think, because we are. Oh, I don't know. It's supposed to be 70% more.
Half or 3/4 through.
Yeah. I don't think we're. I think it's 3/4.
Oh, okay.
I think he gets maybe a couple points for going past half, and then it's like full points or something, or not full points, or maybe like significantly more points for 3/4. I don't remember the rules. We've surprisingly like accumulated a lot of rules for LRC, that so much so that like I don't remember them anymore.
Yeah, the rule book has grown in chapters and pages.
Battle between Kiptunkel and Bishop hitting up. Bishop's gonna have to serve a 1 second penalty. Going down the boot, right?
Yeah.
The boot, yeah, it's the boot. So Kiptunkel easily able to pass Bishop on the straight.
I think they both have their soft tire stints still coming up, right? They did 2 medium tire stints, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's correct. Bishop started on the mediums and has only pit once, I think, so far.
It is very interesting how that Renault, even though it's a mid-engine car, doesn't seem to be having the same benefits as the Porsche or the Ford, for example. The front tires, they still seem like they're having some front tire issues. This stint not as bad as the last, but I guess, yeah, this time it's a bit more even. I don't remember if Soul Shock has done his soft tire stint yet, but I would hope he would at this point have done it already. Whoa, dinosaur gliding through the toe there uphill. I hope Soul Shock has already done his soft tire stint. Is what I was trying to get at.
Yeah,
He
for
would have
his sake.
9 laps to do
Yeah.
on the softs.
Soul Shock decides to stay out. That's gonna be a tough one for Soul Shock.
Oh man, that
Oh
that
my
makes me think
goodness.
that he hasn't. Because what other reason?
Yeah.
Why else would he stay out?
Yeah, he has to stay out. Otherwise, he'd have to make 2 pit stops basically.
Whoa!
Bishop there making a little bit of contact with Soul Shock. Probably not anticipating how slow Soul Shock has to go through that corner due to the tire wear.
Yeah, both the braking and turn in, really slowing down now. Interestingly, Soul Shock choosing to defend on the inside.
Just hugging the right side of the track, going into the bus stop there. Dinosaur looking for a way through, but Soul Shock surprisingly keeping Dinosaur behind there, defends through the chute. Dinosaur looking for an over-under, but isn't able to get the exit speed that he wants. Coming down into the toe. Surely he'll be able to find a way through the next couple of corners.
He's just pushing Soul Shock through at this point.
Yeah.
Urging him to go faster.
Dinosaur's looking for a very clean way to get past. There you go, and takes the over-under at the heel. Great job by Dinosaur there to be patient and find a clean opportunity.
Yeah. We have a GG in the chat. That's the second one. I wonder if there must have been an incident there between Hip and Little Draco, maybe.
Yeah, looks like they both have, or looks like Kip Dunkel has damage. Little Jacob doesn't. But Sassol jumping into the pits, Bishop jumping into the pits as well. Dinosaur has slowed down, so we do have a virtual safety car. Dinosaur is our virtual safety car. D-Slov now caught up to Dinosaur. Everyone is taking pit stops here. This might be an interesting situation where D-Slov, Dinosaur, and Will Grizzle all likely have tires to go, and tires and fuel to go to the end of the race. But the cars that are pitting now, they're putting on soft tires. Yeah, they're gonna have a clean set of soft tires, and then they're gonna have basically only 6 laps to go through, because they're gonna go through this whole lap here under safety car. So they're gonna have essentially like an extra lap, or basically a less lap to do on the softs, and that's gonna be challenging for, I think, Grizzle, D-Slub, and Dinosaur to keep the lead. We'll see if anyone in that 4th, 5th, or 6th position will be able to take advantage of the situation. I think all eyes will be on Soul Shock to see how much of a tire advantage those softs will be in the closing stages of this race. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Track position on this track isn't particularly something that is advantageous as other tracks. It's relatively easy to pass on here. The other thing too is that everyone's tires are going to be pretty cold when they restart, and that'll give the advantage to the soft tires the cars with soft tires as well. So I think they're gonna have to go through another lap before they restart, seeing that it's gonna take until likely the start finish line for everyone to get caught up. So the advantage for the soft tire runners are gonna be the advantage is gonna be even bigger for them.
Yeah.
Oh man, this race has got way more interesting now. And essentially what we're gonna have is a 7-lap sprint race to the end The first 3 cars, the fastest, are on used mediums. And then we got Soul Shock in 4th place. And behind, all on softs, I think. Or no, so B-Rhymes is still on mediums. So B-Rhymes made an interesting choice to stick to mediums and not change the tires, but to make a quick pit stop, I think. Or no, maybe B-Rhymes didn't make a pit stop at all. And that's why B-Rhymes is currently in 5th place. So Cecil is also on mediums. So the only other car that's on softs up in the top 10 is little Jacob. Luke Fubar didn't take softs either, and then Kip's on softs. So it's really interesting.
I think in Cecil Turtle's case, they must have hit just before the VSC was called.
Oh yeah, that's possible, yeah.
Bishop grabbing soft tires.
So what's the current order here? So we got Shomi in 13th, Mosky in 12th on softs, Bishop's on softs, Lamb King on soft as well, and Kip Dunkel on soft. So Luke Fubar is gonna have his work cut out for him to keep all those cars behind. Little Jacob has softs. Cecil Turtle's got a new set of mediums. Yeah, I think the question here is how good are the softs going to be compared to those mediums, and whether or not Soul Shock will be able to move up the grid to win this race. I think Soul Shock actually has a pretty good chance. Though he will have to get through 3 cars to win this race.
Part of the driver mentality here is knowing that you have a big tire advantage, but doing your best to be patient on overtaking moves, making sure you're being clean and not overestimating or underestimating your advantage, basically.
Yeah. I think the tricky thing too is figuring out the right time to pass. Like we were talking about earlier in this race, if you go side by side with someone through the 90, you're gonna lose out on so much time that, like, if you do that once, like, I think that might just end up being like, it could potentially just end up being the race, you know?
Right.
So like if you time those passes correctly, like it could be the difference between remaining in 4th place and maybe even losing out to a couple of positions because you have people behind you catching up, and the difference between that and winning the race. So we'll see how this goes.
They are going to start side by side here.
Looks like Dinosaur's going to wait till the last possible minute to start. And there we go. Dinosaur gets a good jump off of the green flag. Soul Shock VR already in 3rd place, taking advantage of that jump start and passing What Grizzle. In the meantime, he is side by side with D-Slove going through the back straight, and now he's overtaken him. So this is an amazing start for Soul Shock. Soul Shock is now going to have to hunt down Dinosaur and has 6 laps to do it. So this is looking really good for Soul Shock right now.
Could easily burn up his soft tires in 6 laps if he's pushing too hard, though.
That is true too. Yep.
He could make this pass early and then be easy on the tires, or be patient and do it at the end. But by the end, he's not going to have this advantage. So Better to do it earlier.
See further down the grid, D-Slove still maintains that third position. Little Jacob though, squeezing on the inside of Grizzle through the chute, making a tiny bit of contact on the exit there. Grizzle there closing in, almost colliding with Cecil Turtle there. The pack is bunching up quite a lot there with Motsky, Kip Dunkel, B-Rhymes, all pretty much in a straight line together.
Yeah, Kip made an amazing pass around the outside at the toe. That's difficult to do there. Full shot continuing to close in within half a second now. Love went a little wide on the exit of turn 10. Yep, that's a 1 second penalty for Love.
Also shocked there, looking to make an inside move to Dinosaur, kind of making himself known to Dinosaur that he's right behind him. And look at those tires though, they're already like a quarter done, maybe like a fifth. And
yep,
he's gonna burn through them quite quickly if he's gonna be battling Dinosaur this entire time. So he needs to get past Dinosaur and make this move to stop battling with him, but Soulshock might have to drastically conserve their tires to last to the end of the race, so the advantage might swing back to Dinosaur towards the end of the race.
Yep, Soulshock has passed him now, so at this point he has to switch and go to a more conservative driving style. Love with that 1 second penalty, falling back behind. Little Jacob making that move.
And Jacob with the other set of soft tires. Jacob started, I think it was like 8th or something, already up into 3rd place. Love defending against Cecil Turtle through the heel.
I think any of the top 3 could win this race right now.
Yeah, it's going to be really close. So little Jacob though is also on a really good run. Like he is close. He's already up against Dinosaur's rear, and yeah, it's basically anything between these top 3 cars. Looks like Will Grizzle, D-Slove, and Cecil are all kind of like falling a little bit further behind these 3.
Yeah, Dinosaur, the only one of the starting 3 still in this right now on those medium tires. The top 3 that were in the restart.
Jacob's got the draft. And he's gonna make an attempt to overtake at the bus stop. No, he thinks about it for a fraction of a second. Kind of loses a little bit of momentum there by unbalancing the car quite a bit through the first section of the bus stop. Taking a little bit too much curb. I mean, those tires are falling away very quickly. And they're almost to the point where they're getting worse than the medium tires that Dinosaur has on. And they're going to have to last another 3.5 laps. I don't know if they're going to be able to manage their tires enough to go to the end of the race. It's going to be really close.
Yeah, you can tell Dinosaur is pushing on those mediums, though. He's gliding through the toe once again.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. At this point, like, how do you make that call, like, to, slow down, lose the position, in the hopes that you might make it back up towards the end of the race? Like, that's such a hard decision to make in the moment.
Yeah. This is the point, though, where it's going to swing back the other way. The soft tires are going to have more wear at this point than the mediums, so that's going to start to even out. Saw on Jacob's Ford. Oh, looks like Shomi was a bit sideways there.
Yeah, it looks like it was in the grass.
I saw on the Ford, it has a bit more rear tire wear like almost a significant amount more rear tire wear than the front. So that's gonna affect him quite a bit on low speed.
Oh, and they got
zones
side
like
by
the
side
exit.
going into the bus stop. Are they gonna stay by? Oh no, Dinosaur takes lead. Oh my God, that was so. That could have been so risky. Dinosaur defended on the inside, and little Jacob backed out last second there. Let Dinosaur go through. Oh my God, they're just like at the limit right now. All three of these cars. And look at that,
Dinosaur
Soul
loves
Shock's
that.
tires, man. Oh my God.
Dinosaur loves that inside line into the bus stop. He says, "I am not scared of that little wall."
What's going on here? Oh, okay. Whoa, okay. There's like a little lag spike or something.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, it seems like there's something's going on. I really hope it doesn't affect the outcome of this race, though. Little Jacob there getting a good exit through turn 9.
Still about
Oh
a
my
second
God.
to Soul Shock from Dinosaur, so Soul Shock definitely not able to drive away from the two.
Oh, look at this, and Motsky is up in 5th place. So Motsky was like, I think he was like 12th or 11th. Motsky getting tons of ground. Bishop as well. So all the racing soft cars making their way up to the mid-pack.
Motsky got that 1 second penalty for going wide on the exit of turn 1. Jacob trying again.
Dinosaur sticking into that inside line, and they go, oh, they barely touch. They still go side by side. Dinosaur is in the grass. Oh my God, but Jacob makes the pass. Oh my goodness.
This is what we were talking about early on. See how much ground they lost to Soul Shock.
See if we can see that replay again. I don't think I caught it. I don't think I caught the mark. Yeah, it's not registering. All right, so Soul Shock is starting to run away with it, but Soul Shock could very much lose the momentum towards the end of this race. So Kip Dunkel, that front left completely gone. I don't know, Soul Shock has a decent amount of tire. I think he might be able to do one more lap. It's going to be a tough lap. Little Jacob, though, is in a really good position, though. It looks like despite pushing the car, that front left is way better. And again, it's kind of like back to that MR deal where we're talking about in Suzuka, that front left being just slightly better in terms of wear is going to allow Jacob to potentially win this race. But I think it's still up for grabs. Like, yeah, see, Dinosaur still has really good tires for his medium tires relative to Jacob and Soul Shock.
That is what we're gonna do here. Jacob is, I was gonna say covering the inside. And out to the inside now.
Oh, and they squeeze, and Dinosaur hits the inside of the wall. Oh no! Oh my goodness! Just like a millimeter, and oh man.
Yeah, I think he would have been fine, but there was that little bit of contact from the squeeze there.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is so unfortunate.
All right, so Soul Shock now, losing that front left very quickly. Oh, and Jacob almost loses the car. Oh my God, this is so close.
Yeah, that's that rear left that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Soul Shock just crawling through the right-hand corners now. I'm sure that left tire is gone by now.
Oh yeah, he's got to be real careful. It might even come down to the final turn here. That front left might prevent him from getting a good exit, and Jacob might be able to take advantage of that.
Got one more right-hander to make.
Oh my god, he's got a better exit, but Solshock though has enough momentum. I think Solshock has got it. Oh my god, Solshock wins by less than, and look at this like three-way battle here between Bishop, Motsky, and Grizzle. Bishop takes the podium. Oh my goodness, Bishop. So wow. Bishop, Motsky, and Grizzle. Oh my god, Motsky finishes in 4th, Dinosaur in 7th, Kip Dunkel in 8th, Lamb King, Cecil Turtle, B Rhymes finishes in 11th. Looks like Show Me must have an incident or something towards the exit of turn 11. And D-Slove though, D-Slove ended up in 13th. I wish we could have gone back and seen what happened with D-Slove, but dang man, what a crazy. Oh, so I think D-Slove went to go pit, put on some racing softs. It looks like.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So Dinosaur and Dietlov both losing out there after that late safety car. But Solshock and Bishop, Team Azul, Racing Dodge. I bet they're glad they switched to that car at this point. 2 cars on the podium.
Oh my god, yeah. Wow. What a race. Here, it looks like there's issues with the victory screen there. So let's take a look one more time at the results. Man, what an exciting race. That was down to the wire. Solshock VR. Honestly, I had thought his tires was going to prevent him from winning that race. Like that last turn with those tires completely dead, I thought he was going to lose it. But Solshock though comes out on top, wins the race. Little Jacob in 2nd place, and then Bishop in 3rd place, round out the podium. So 2 podium finishes for the Viper team. Motsky in 4th place, an epic result for Motsky. Unfortunately, Dinosaur, if he would have podium, that would have been a good result for the Mystic Maple cars. Or Grizzle finishes in 5th place, Luke Fubar in 6th, Dinosaur in 7th. Unfortunately, due to that contact with the barrier down into the bus stop. Kip Dunkel in 8th place, Lamb King 9th, Cecil Turtle in 10th, B Rhymes in 11th, Show Me in 12th, D-Slove basically from top 3 down to last place. And then Lou with the DNF unfortunately had potentially some connectivity issues. But dang, what a race. Great job, Solshock. Great job, little Jacob. Unlucky Dinosaur. That was just a super tight entrance into the bus stop. But oh my god, what a great race. That is one I need to make sure I save the replay. Oh, I can't save the replay.
Why is it not there?
Weird. I knew last time I tried it, I ran out of console space, so maybe it knows I don't have enough space left on my console. I don't know. It's the network. Something's been weird. Like it didn't show me the victory screen, and then it didn't show me it didn't show. It doesn't show the replay thing. So something's weird going on with the game right now.
Very weird.
Senor Dude is saying the commentator's curse of Dinosaur not being afraid of the bus stop corner.
I was thinking of that.
Oh my god. Okay, well, so that concludes our Division 2 race. We'll shut down the stream for just temporarily, and then we'll be back on for our Division 1 race very shortly. Toasty, you have any closing remarks for our Division 2 race?
Nope, I'm kind of just still in shock from the the result, really.
Yeah,
kind of thinking it over still.
Yeah, that last minute safety
car impacted it, yeah.
Oh my goodness, yeah. All right, well, so with that, we will go into a little bit of a break, but stick with us. We'll be with our D1 lobby and drivers in about like 10 minutes or so. So hang tight.